Hey guys, here we are. We are at Deck's compound, if you want to call it that. We're out here for the second inaugural Black Friday ride. Those of you that watched my video last year on this, we had, let's see here, it was me, Jack, Greg, Ken Reichenbach, Travis and Kyle Reichenbach, Dave Whip, his two boys. I think there were a couple other people that showed up with some quads. I can't really remember. But there was, I'd say there was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 of us out here last year. This year was a little thinner. Ken, Travis, and Kyle were not able to make it. They were supposed to be here, but right before the ride, there was a death in the family, so unfortunately they weren't able to make it. Always miss having them out here because it's always fun to see them. Pony Down was supposed to be here. He has yet to make it to this side of the state for anything but a race. He ended up working, he had to get that triple time or whatever he said it was. I still think he's full of it. Just kidding. But Stanko ended up coming out and riding with us, but he showed up a little bit late. It was honestly pretty close to the time everybody else was kind of done riding. But yeah, my brother Mike was here from California. He lives down near San Diego. So he was out here. Really great weather for a Southern California guy, I think it was right around 35 degrees, so it was nice and toasty for him. I put him on the 4-stroke and I studded up the tires for him and everything, but it's been a long time since he's been on a dirt bike for sure, and so he really wasn't feeling super comfortable. But I did forget that Deck actually has two little blaster Yamaha quads, so he ended up jumping on those guys for the rest of the day after this lap session, and I think he ended up having a lot more fun on that than he had on the bike. But he got to come out here and hang out with us and have a little bit of fun and get a little dirty. Hopefully he enjoyed it. But yeah, so right now we're ripping around on the 2-stroke, and I am not going to talk through the whole video here, but we'll just kind of speak up where necessary. I know some of you guys have been waiting for this video, Deck specifically, because his property, his event, and he didn't have his camera rolling. So good job, buddy. So I think I'm the only one out of the guys that came out that actually had a helmet cam and actually recorded footage. And you might notice throughout this video that my sound was a little bit messed up. Not really sure what happened. It was a little bit soft during the first part of the day, and then which I think it was right after I got done riding Kane's KTM, my sound almost got totally muted, and I was able to adjust the volume to kind of equal it out a little bit, but you'll have to apologize, or I have to apologize that at the end of this video the sound is a little bit wonky, and it clears up before the video's over, but I tried to get as much sound as I could get for you guys. So again, there's right at the end there's some scratchy spots, and so I do apologize for that, but I figured hearing what was going on was better than having no sound at all. So yeah, like I said, right now we're just ripping around on the 2-stroke. We'll ride the 4-stroke, and then Dave Whip was out here again this year. Always fun having him out. The boys, unfortunately, were not able to make it with him this year, but Dave ended up bringing Kane's, I want to say it's a KTM 250 SX. If I remember right, it's a 2017. He just put Electron carburetor on that bike, and it is wild. So as much as I love riding this bike, that thing was crazy, and I've considered for years putting Electron on this bike, and after riding that one, it's definitely something I'm leaning towards, because Dave told me that Kane's bike was similar to the power delivery that this bike has before he put it on, and once that Electron was put on there, holy smokes, there's no waiting for the power band anymore. So I'm gonna kick back for a second, let you guys just kind of watch what's happening, listen to the noises, and like I said, I'll kind of jump in with any commentary necessary.
Rear brakes are just about gone on this bike.
Sorry about that rattle too. There's a broken screw boss on one of my hand guards that it rattles the whole time I'm riding. It's not the camera, it's not any goofy sound on the bike itself, it's just that screw turning. There's Mike. Still not sure exactly what happened. I think he just kind of tipped over. But again, you know, he's really not any taller than I am, and he doesn't weigh anywhere near as much as me. So with the sag set correctly for me, this bike is pretty tall for him, and so trying to kickstart it is pretty tough. So I figured I'd just pull over here and get it going for him again. If you guys don't want to watch the whole video, make sure you do watch the end, the last few minutes for sure. It's pretty entertaining. So as you guys can kind of tell, I mean, well, you guys might not know, 2 days before this ride, we got a ton of rain. I was actually bringing the bikes over, or getting the trailer to bring the bikes over just so I could leave the trailer and everything right at Deck's house and not worry about it, since I was staying at my parents' for Thanksgiving because my brother and sister-in-law were in town. I actually got my truck buried in my backyard because we had so much rain, and you know, joys of having two-wheel drive. So now I'm on the search for a four-wheel drive truck. But yeah, you might be able to tell the ground is pretty soft out here, a little bit greasy, and yeah, especially down by the pond areas, the track is really soft. We got lucky this year. If you watched the video last year, you know that there was some icy spots, especially on the backside of that hill, on the backside of the hill up by the garage. It was not icy today, so that was really nice. The ground was actually really good, but it was snotty where, you know, we were close to the water. So that gets a little bit slippery down there for sure. It's real soft right in here, and then right to the right there where the tape is was really, really muddy. And then this spot right here always gets slippery. It's like all the low spots in the yard. Right around this corner, you can tell is already getting torn up, and this is just the first couple minutes of us riding. This is the one time today that I tried to get over these. Right here, I landed right on my wrist, and I don't know if you noticed or not, but I am not wearing my wrist brace. Not a smart move. I just completely forgot it. It was actually sitting in my nightstand at my house. So definitely regretted not having that because that fall definitely hurt. But my wrist is feeling all right again, so no major damage. Just I think it just extended it further than what it's used to doing right now. I was gonna cut this part out, but Paul's gonna come through here in just a second. So yeah, Paul Keenership was out here too. So that was a new face to the property. There he is. I think he was sort of waiting for me, and I was like, "No, go ahead." he steps off with so much more grace than I do, but he's also got longer legs. So yeah, like I said, I decided that going over that again was a bad idea, so I stayed away from it the whole rest of the day, even though the other guys were starting to really get it down and saving some time on their laps. We had talked about doing like a time trials race, but realistically, I don't think enough guys showed up to really make that enjoyable. So we decided not to. We just ended up doing hot laps all day.
I tried to go over those logs. Yeah.
So now my brother's on one of the quads and I'm on the 4-stroke. And boy, having the studs on this bike made it a whole lot more, well, it felt a lot more grippy. So it gave me a whole lot more confidence. Maybe falsely, but it felt a lot better. So you can see in that corner back there that even with the studs, it's still slippery. The front end's wanting to tuck, the back end's wanting to swap around. It's slimy, especially in that corner. There's Mike. I promised him we wouldn't run him over, so if he just held his line, we would find our way around him. And hopefully not roost him in the face.
Gonna try it?
Yeah, I'm gonna let my hand free. I was gripping it there, so it's like starting to fatigue.
So now Dave Whip is on the 4-stroke, and this is his son Kane's bike. And we're gonna go in the opposite direction finally, which this is the direction I actually prefer. But the jump that Deck has made is definitely more suited to the opposite direction. So I'm just feeling this bike out. And all things considered, I felt pretty comfortable on this bike. It doesn't have a left-hand rear brake, which is all I use on either of my bikes. It's got a Recluse clutch, but it's not auto clutch. It's the standard, I think, torque drive manual clutch. So, and it's set up for Kane, who is lighter than I am, but the suspension actually felt pretty darn close to the 4-stroke. So, all in all, it felt pretty good. Like I said, just kind of feeling this out here, first lap or two. But all in all, this bike felt really good to me. And, I finally, it's really the first KTM I've ever ridden, and the chassis felt really, really good. So I do get why people love the KTMs. I'm not giving up my blue bikes for one, but it was a nice bike to ride. A lot of fun, really fast. So it was a good time. So by this point, I believe Stanko is here. So I think that the bike that was just sitting there, I think you can see him off to the right there. I think that's Stanko. I think was just getting going, and I don't know if his bike was cold or what, but he wasn't moving at that point. But he's here. So here we are. Like I said, the volume or the sound is kind of messed up on this, but it does get better fairly quick. At this point, Dave and I had just done a session of hot laps for about 15 minutes, going in the opposite direction, and we were battling it out. It was probably the best hot lap session that I've ever had, and I thought I recorded everything. My camera was not on. So when everybody decided we were going to turn around and go this direction again, I said, alright, well let's do that again, and I'll make sure I record it this time. So that's what's happening here. That's why I cut across the track to catch up to him and get behind him. And we were just duking it out again. And it's going to come to a pretty abrupt end. But enjoyable at last. If you can't tell by this point, the dirt was starting to get really good. You know, the really snotty areas stayed snotty, but the stuff that was just kind of on the border, really started to pack up at this point, and it was hooking up really good. But as you can see there and here, there's some big roofs coming, and this whole section here is really, really muddy. The best part about this, what made it so fun was that, technically Dave is a faster rider than I am. Most of the time when we're actually racing, there goes Stanko. He'd jump the logs to get ahead of us. But when we're racing, Dave is definitely a faster rider than I am. I can keep up with him, but he's more consistent for a longer period of time, so, it's part of the whole stamina thing that I've got to work on. But, what made it fun was having the studs on my tires. It made me faster in sections that he wasn't able to go as fast in, so where he would pull away from me in certain spots, I could reel him back in, so it made it a lot of fun to duke it out.
jumped in front of us, and he pretty quickly decided to just stay out of it. Right here, the sound's gonna come back in.
So again, not sure what happened there, but hopefully it wasn't too bad for you for that few minutes that it was messed up real bad.
Oh, that was firmer than I thought it was going to be.
Almost knocked me off the bike.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how I ended up bouncing backwards, but that shrub there, I think, is what I hit. And yeah, it tried to rip the helmet right off my head and broke my visor.
Wow.
The ground is so soft there that the handlebars just stuck straight into the mud, and you know, as you see, ripped my bark buster right off. Really, handlebars look a little bent there, but riding it, they don't feel bent. So I'm really not sure if they're bent or not. It feels all right. I think it might be an optical illusion just because it doesn't have the bark buster on there anymore. But I'll have to check it out. But yeah, that was
Oh, you
that was a gnarly crash for sure. I got back to the garage, or got back up to the driveway there, and Dave says, "Where'd she go?" I said, I ate crap." Deck's wife Liz and Dave's wife were inside the garage. They're watching us through the little window, and Liz says, "Yeah, I saw you." So luckily nothing got hurt too bad. It did make my back and neck pretty stiff for about a week and a half though. So it definitely not the recommended way to stop. So I think I just finished this lap with the bark buster missing. Now the aluminum that's still attached to the screw on the end of the bars is cutting into my hand. It cut a big hole in my glove and was starting to cut into my skin. So I decided that it was time to call it a day after running the rest of this lap. And pretty shortly after everybody else decided that it was time to pack up and head out too, it was I want to say it was sometime around 4:30, so it was starting to get dark, but had a great time. Thanks again to Liz and Deck for having everybody out, supplying some munchies for us to fill our bellies with, and some cold beers. Had a blast as always, and yeah, be watching. Deck has picked up a 2020 KTM 150 TPI. He did a video, just kind of walk around on it in the garage. He has ridden it, I know he has, but his battery ended up dying before he got any footage actually on it. So look out for some videos from him on that bike. That should be a pretty sweet bike. I can't wait to actually ride that thing. If you don't know his YouTube channel, it's Creeper Mode, so all one word, and it's exactly how you think it's spelled. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and if we don't see you for some winter rides, we'll see you in the spring for sure. But keep an eye out. I did some go-kart racing over this weekend also, and I'll put up a video from High Caliber Karting in the Meridian Mall in Lansing, or Okemos. I'll put that video up soon, so keep an eye out for it. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you want.